Hello, everyone. I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and this is Creating an Inspired Life. I'm so happy you're here watching and listening. I'm a medium as well as a certified spiritual life coach. And my passion, my purpose, what I do all of the time is to help people live better lives. I like to help them look at their problems from a different angle and try to become a little bit more empowered by them rather than letting our problems weigh us down. Now, today's coaching tip is all about a strategy that I've used when I'm feeling overwhelmed. And so many of us, we can be overwhelmed with our lives. So many things. We do too much. We can be overwhelmed with the busyness that we've created, and we have a hectic and busy lifestyle. We can be overwhelmed with worry with over our problems, thinking about what's going to happen and creating a draining cycle of repetitive thoughts and negative emotions. We can be overwhelmed with everything going on in our lives, and so we end up treating ourselves very poorly. We don't eat correctly, we don't sleep, we don't exercise, and we tend to put ourselves second, third, fourth, fifth, and not take care of ourselves. And sometimes I think what happens too is we can get overwhelmed by the thoughts in our heads. Those things we say to ourselves that are not necessarily very nice. The things we say we can't do something, or that we should be doing something else, or we don't know how to make changes in our lives to make things better. So what's wrong with us? Why can't we figure that out? And we start to put ourselves down. And when we do that, we create these life myths, I'm going to call them. These are stories that we believe are true, but they're not really based on facts. They're a myth. We tell ourselves a story and we repeat it over and over and over again to such a point that we believe it's true. Invariably, when we tell ourselves these stories, these life myths, it's the story of how we are so incapable of handling our lives or making a change so that we feel better. Just the other day, I got a bit overwhelmed with some things going on in my life, and I heard myself say, "What is wrong with you?" And I was talking to myself, "What is wrong with you?" And I was thinking about everything I had to do, and I wasn't sure what to do. And I have a lot of things going on. Some of the things I've invited in my life because I like to say yes to things. And some of the other things that are in my life is very challenging. And they overwhelm me sometimes with my thoughts. And I started to get really frustrated with how I was thinking and realized I had to take a step back out of that negativity. My thoughts were creating this negative energy around me. And it was very stifling, actually. It was like this huge mass of yucky energy just surrounded me, like a thick blanket of something suffocating, a suffocating weight. And it was all around me, dragging me down and taking me to that place of it doesn't make a difference anyway. I know you've probably been there. So many of us have. And it's something that can be very overwhelming because we feel powerless to make a change. Our thoughts create this energy, and it can be like a physical presence, something that gets in our way and stops us from moving forward. We don't know why we're not moving forward. We're just not moving forward. And it can be this negative energy. And as I realized when I was doing this just recently that I knew I had to make some space around myself. I had to make space and clear that energy out. Have you heard that term, holding space for others? This is a term that we use when we are fully present for another person. We're there supporting them and helping them through some of their challenges just by being there, being aware, accepting them and loving them. It's holding space for them. It's a positive way to use your energy to help someone else. Making space for ourselves is a very similar thing. We're making space, holding a space for ourselves. And so many times we don't do that because we just don't think we're that important, so we don't get to it. So we want to talk about how to do this. We want to be fully present in our lives. We want to be fully present with ourselves. When we make space for ourselves, we're consciously choosing to be still and reconnect with ourselves with love and acceptance. We're not beating ourselves up. We're accepting what's coming up and we're just doing it. And as we're making space for ourselves, we dilute that negative energy that can surround us when our brains start to go crazy. And this can be simply done if you choose to do it. Simple. It is simple. We can make space in the physical areas. We can clear stuff off of our desk. We can move things around, get rid of junk, broken things. We can remove people or stay away from people who are affecting our space. But today, since I only have a limited time, we're going to talk about making space within our energy and how to do it. The fastest way I know to do it is to take breaths, to count my breaths. And it took me a very long time to realize that when I'm overwhelmed or too busy, this is the fastest way for me to get back to myself. And it's so simple. People will say, well, meditate and meditating, people put it off. They just don't want to do it. It is a form of meditation, but it's really just breathing deeply. And what I do is 11 breaths. And whenever I do this 11 breaths, I feel so much better. It's simple. It's easy. Anyone can do it. You don't have to have any special training or anything like this. You can do it. And when you take the time for these breaths, what's happening is you're sitting still. You're being still, which allows you to become present with yourself. And when I do this, I can feel my body as well as my mind starting to relax. It's so easy. If you're feeling overwhelmed with too many things to do, overwhelmed with worry or your problems, just be still and count your breaths. What will happen is you'll have thoughts will come into your head. It will happen. It still happens to me. It still happens to everybody. You will have thoughts come in. Just notice them and then watch them go away and just keep paying attention to your breath. If you pay attention to your breath and then come back to your body while you're doing it, pay attention to how your body's feeling. You might start to notice some areas that have tension or stress in them. You might start to notice how the air comes into your body, and that when you exhale the air, you may notice that you feel as though you're clearing a space around you. You'll be able to feel this shift happening. And the more you relax as you breathe, the easier it becomes to make space for yourself. It's going to be cleansing the energy around you. You just stay focused on the breath and your body as you're doing it. Count it and just pay attention to the effect that's happening. You're consciously choosing to be still. Now, 11 breaths. How long does that really take? I wanted to know, so I timed it out. It was about 2 minutes, and those were very slow breaths. I wanted to make sure they were very deep. And as I was doing it, I noticed my thoughts and everything were fading away. And what's happening is you're creating this space around you, and you're moving the thoughts, the worries, the overwhelm, the problems outside of your energy field so that you have that space they're all in the distance. You have the space so you can relax. I did the 11 breaths at a workshop I taught this past summer. It was about 2 minutes. And at the end of that, the people in the workshop were astonished at how much better they felt. They were calmer and more empowered to handle their problems. Many people will not choose to take the action to change how they feel. People would rather complain, worry, whine. They would rather talk about how overwhelmed they are with life, or there must be something wrong with them because they can't seem to change how they feel, but they don't make any action. Next time you're feeling overwhelmed with life, worries, problems, all of that stuff, take 2 minutes to change your life. If you knew that 2 minutes a day could change your life, wouldn't you try it? I would hope so. It's worth it just to see. Commit to a week even and just see. Make a note that you're doing it. So if you're feeling overwhelmed, 2 minutes, 11 breaths in and out, and you'll be making space around yourself, and you'll be able to handle your problems so much better. You will be amazed. I'm telling you, I'm a big how-to person. I'm always about the how to do something. It's all great to have a great philosophical change in your mind, but if you don't know how to apply it, it doesn't really work. So give it a try and see what you think. Let me know what you think. I would love to hear. You can reach me at psychicmediumcolleen.com, as well as on Facebook, Colleen Vanderzyden, medium and self-empowerment coach. If you look up Colleen Vanderzyden, it should pop up, and then you'll see the medium after and you'll know it's me, and you can follow me there. Today, we are going to talk to now Vanessa from Australia. Vanessa, how are you today?
I'm good, Colleen. How are you?
Oh, I'm excellent. Thank you. And how can I help you today?
Well, I've just recently gone through a big transition in my life, and I'm wondering if you have anything come up in regards to that and where you see me headed in the not so distant future.
Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff happening around you. I'm getting a lot of, boy, what do I want to call this? Releasing of things. Did you get rid of some things that were interfering? I love it. I love it. And there's such a sense about you of, boy, actually, right now, I'm very much admiring you because you took some action, you stepped into your power, and you made the choices you had to make. And you have not looked back, have you?
That's exactly right. Yes.
Yes, you have not. And I have to say, I am starting to feel empowered just by connecting with you right now because your energy is so strong. I can feel it all the way over here. And it's so strong that it's like you've got stuff so much under control right now. But you don't know everything that's going to happen. You don't know where exactly things are going to go, but there's this overwhelming sense about you of knowing that it's going to be okay, that it's going to be just fine. And this is so interesting. Now, I want to touch in with somebody on the other side. I think I have a spirit on the other side who wants to come in. Do you happen to have somebody who would have passed, a male, on the other side who would have had something going on with his jaw area that would have somehow affected him in his speech or something? I'm getting the weirdest feelings in my jaw.
Not that I can recall.
That's okay. I'm going to keep going because it's so strong. This man, as he comes in, my what's right, left, my left side of my jaw feels like it's almost like I have cotton balls in it. And it feels like I can't speak as clearly as I want to speak. And when he comes in, he's also giving me the impression he feels like a grandfatherly energy, the kind of grandfather everybody wants to have, who would take care of you, be there for you, has a pretty good sense of humor, and has also got one of those work ethics that just no one can touch this work ethic. He's just a worker, and he would do everything he can. When you get a chance, ask around your parents or anybody who's around still who you can ask and see if we can connect to who it is. But what he wants to tell you right now is he's giving me this impression that he is so proud of you because he said you recognized what wasn't right for you and you took that action. As he's talking about it, he gives me the impression as well that you, you really spoke your mind, didn't you? Ooh, good for you. He says you really spoke your mind. You just put it right out there and said everything you had to say. Right now, I want to ask, did you happen to move into a new location or something?
A couple of years ago, I left the family home into a whole different new location. That was a big move.
Okay. And you know what I'm seeing? And the reason I'm asking this is I'm seeing a kitchen, which is interesting, but I'll say anything that pops into my head. So I'm seeing a kitchen and there's something about the dishes in the kitchen. Okay. And I'm feeling like I've got some china, that kind of thing. Would you happen to have some china or something like this that is from someone who's passed?
No.
Okay.
No.
Keep this in mind because there's a connection somehow here with the china, the dishes. Okay. There's something with this. You'll know it when you see it. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. And you'll just go, oh, there it is. Exactly. And I get such a sense of you. Boy, so many changes. I'm loving this. You're very good at relating to people, he's telling me as well. You're very good at seeing what they're really like. And you're also very good at encouraging them too. And because of this, you've made some very good connections with people who very much love to talk to you, people who admire you, and people who ask you for advice, apparently, as well. From these, you're like the local counselor. From all of these connections, so many good things are going to come out of this. And I get such an impression of, I don't even know what I want to say. A celebration. I want a celebration coming up for you within the next, not very long, 6 months maybe. I want a celebration. So something is going to be really awesome that's going to happen. It just feels like how can I put it? I just feel like I'm so satisfied and pleased with how my life has worked out. So, judging from what he's telling me and how I'm feeling your energy, I don't think you have anything really to be worrying about if you've got any worries, which I'm not really feeling. So you're headed totally in the right direction because he's telling me you're not afraid to speak your truth and to stay on the path that you think is right. And that's all you need to be able to keep moving forward. So this is awesome. I feel so good about you right now. I have to tell you.
Oh,
yeah,
good.
this
Thank
is
you.
nice. Yeah. Well, good luck with, life because it's going to be awesome. There's nothing. It's really wonderful. It's just so nice.
Right.
Okay. Well, Vanessa, it was
really
so nice talking to you. Yeah, you're welcome. It's really nice. It's nice to have some real positive energies coming at me. So thanks for bringing them. So you have a good day, and I'll talk to you another time, maybe.
Okay, great.
Okay, bye. And that was Vanessa from Australia. Yeah, she's somebody you can just tell. She has made some real changes in her life and has taken control. And I love that when someone does that. It's amazing. Now we are going to move on to Brittany from Maryland. Brittany, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Great. I'm glad to hear you're great. How can I help you today?
Well, I figured I would maybe, find out a little something involving my life that you could tell me.
Okay. Do you have anything in particular you want to talk about? Because I don't want to go all over the place if you've got something in particular you want me to talk about.
Okay. Maybe either relationship or career.
Okay. We'll see what happens here because I think I want to talk about career here. Have you been in the same position for quite some time now?
It's been about a year now.
Okay, because I feel a position that's been around you for quite some time. There's the feeling of things kind of, this is interesting. Are you starting to get a little too comfortable in that position where it just seems a little too easy, not as challenging as you might like?
Yeah.
Okay, because it's just the way it's coming through to me. It doesn't feel like it's something that, that makes me go, oh, yes, this is awesome. That I don't feel that. But because it feels like it's not giving you enough of a challenge. It seems to me that you need to have a little bit more direction, not direction given to you by others, but direction within yourself. Because you come across to me as being somebody who's on the more creative side. Are you someone who likes to make things better or create something in particular?
Absolutely.
Okay. Because it's the feeling of, for you, if you're not doing something that's utilizing all aspects of your brain, it can really kind of just be, it's okay, it's there. Now, this position you're in there currently, is there an option of moving into a new position by any chance? A promotion or something like this?
I do have the ability to move up. I would have to get some degrees under my belt. I'm not necessarily sure if that's the path I want to take. I always kind of wanted to take a different path, but I'm currently on the wait list for a program in college that
cool.
I've been wanting to get into. But in all reality, I don't really know what I want to do with myself.
Okay. Oh, no wonder it doesn't feel all that great then to me, because it's just kind of blah. What I'm feeling, and we'll see how this plays out. You'll have to let me know because I feel like I want to go sideways. Okay. I was talking about like a promotion or that kind of thing. I want to go sideways, which to me is the feeling of a different position, but similar in a sense. Okay. So it's something that works. It gets you what you need, that kind of position. Because of the way have you contemplated going into some kind of a healthcare education field?
Nursing.
Okay. Because that's part of the creativity kind of thing, I feel. And also that going sideways thing is so interesting to me. I've got to figure out what that means exactly, because it feels like you're helping other people, but it's not a big position. So you may be volunteering for something or whatever, but there definitely is that healthcare education vibe that goes together for me whenever I get somebody who's, wants to help other people. I usually feel has healthcare and education. And with that comes also the understanding of you are actually very interested in how people think and why they are the way they are. Would you say you are like that?
I am, yes. I currently work at a crisis stabilization center. So I help people with mental illness and substance abuse. So I would say, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, it's an interest here of why people say and do the things they do. And along with that comes the feeling of psychology or psychiatry, some kind of psychological field. And I don't know if that's what you're planning to move into, but there is that kind of feel for you. And when that comes in, it's the sensation of you wanting to, I get it, I see what's happening, step into a position where you make more of a difference. At times in the job you're in now, does it feel like sometimes you're not really making a difference, that no matter what you say and do, people just don't really hear you?
Yeah, I would say so with certain clients that, I have to help and deal with. It's not always easy, and they don't always take the advice. I mean, they're addicts, so it's
and when they're struggling, it's hard to deal with that for them and you. But with this advanced education here for you, it's the sensation of you, because I want you in a position, and this is a weird way of putting it, a position of power. Okay, don't take that the wrong way. You do? Okay, good. I don't want you to take it the wrong way. Some people might think that means a bad thing, but it's not to me, because the way it is, it's somebody that's making choices, making decisions that are going to have profound impacts on other people. And you don't have much of a tolerance for people who don't try. And you don't have much of a tolerance for people who don't do their best. And I'm not talking about your clients necessarily, your patients necessarily, but other people as well. Because at some point I'm feeling you supervising people and, supervising employees. I can feel you doing this. And it's a very natural thing for you to do. And part of that reason I feel the education with it is the education, it's like you're a teacher for other people. You're guiding them on their paths. So as you're, I know you said you were waitlisted for this program you want to be in. And don't worry about that, because that's going to work out. I can see you getting in programs and stuff like that will fit perfectly. I can see that. And I can see you very much enjoying that process of learning, the process of teaching. You pick up on things so very quickly. You understand things quickly. And because you have that ability, I can see you helping, classmates, so to speak, and helping to explain things to them so that they understand it in a different way. You're very good about explaining things in a different way, aren't you?
Yeah, I would say so.
Yeah. So if somebody's telling you their problems or something, you can look at it from different angles and give them different perspectives on it. And because of that, and there's so many people that cannot do that. So that is a very important skill that you have. You probably don't realize how important it is and how important it's going to be as you move through your life. A lot of people cannot. They just repeat the same thing over and over again. But you have that ability to do this, and this is impressive. And when you're going to be teaching, and notice I said when, not if, but when you're going to be teaching, you're going to be able to relate to people so easily because you're going to understand where they're coming from, what they know, and what they need to hear to understand. So this is going to be, you're going to have quite an impact on other people. I see you picking a career, the path, and I see you picking, what do I want to call it? A specialty. I see you picking a specialty, but I see it evolving. It's a stepping point for the next specialty and the next specialty. So you are going to continue with training. training, and you're going to continue bringing more and more information into yourself. And it becomes quite a passion for you. There's going to be a couple of times where you think, oh, this is too much. It's too stressful. It's too hard. But you'll talk yourself out of it very quickly because you're not somebody who wallows in things like that. If there's a problem, you're going to solve it because that's what you do. Yes. And you do that, and you're going to do that when that happens. And there will come a time, it happens with everybody, but for you, you care so much that you're going to think, oh, and just get a little frustrated, but you'll get yourself out of it within 24 hours. It's actually amazing. So this is going to be awesome. It's awesome. You, oh my gosh, I have two great callers tonight. People who have power and within themselves and are willing to be out there for other people. This is so wonderful. And this sensation I'm getting with you of you taking care of others and being there for them is so important. I talked a lot for you. So you might want to find this recording and listen to the end of it again, the end of the thing, so you can take notes. Because there's so many things that are going to happen. Yeah, there's so much that's going to happen. And I want to make sure that you can look back and go, oh, yeah, she told me I was going to do this. And it worked or it didn't work, whatever. But, because I see so much with you, it's so clear to me. And I'm usually not that clear with the future and stuff, but it's so clear. So congratulations on all this stuff that's going to be happening. It's awesome.
Thank you so much. You just made my night. I appreciate it.
Oh, you're welcome so much. Thanks so much for calling, Brittany. Have a good night.
Thank you. Thanks.
You're welcome. Bye-bye. And that was Brittany from the United States and Maryland. I just love talking to our callers from all over the world. It's so wonderful. Now, I'm Colleen Vanderzyden, and you can connect with me at psychicmediumcolleen.com, as well as on Facebook, Colleen Vanderzyden, medium and self-empowerment coach. And you remember this week, if you start to feel a little overwhelmed, just take a little step back. Take those 11 breaths. I'm telling you, it works. If it didn't work, I wouldn't do it almost every day just to get myself out of my head. So it was so nice talking to you. And thank you so much for watching and listening. And I will talk to you next week. Goodbye.